Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back to Tambay TV. I'm your host, El Fajardo. With me, my man, Sonny C. Zone. What's up, Sonny? All the way in
Chilling though.
Hawaii. I was gonna
Let's
ask
talk
you.
shit.
It's about to. We
Come
shall
on.
talk shit. We shall talk shit. So I was reading. You posted something. You did a double header in the cinemas, which I personally haven't done in a while. But you watched it like two movies back to back, and one
Yep.
of them was Easter Sunday, and the other one was the new Brad Pitt thing, right?
Bullet train, yeah.
Bullet Train. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
And you were so you're excited. It was like, yeah, this guy. I felt your excitement. Oh, he's gonna fucking do a movie date. And then after that, two shit posts about the movie. And I'm like,
Well, okay. Let me clarify the. Let me just say.
we're gonna get into Prey, by the way. The segment's into
Yeah, but let me preface it all by saying that I understand movies are subjective. What a person likes or doesn't like is going to differ from what somebody else likes or doesn't like.
Uh-huh.
So for me, the two things that are very vital for me that make a movie successful in my mind are one is my attention always captivated through the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like if there's a moment where I start to wonder, like, oh, I gotta go wash my clothes, I'm out of the mood.
You lost me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I have to be entertained. I have to be entertained.
Uh-huh.
Meaning that, again, entertained, I guess, is also subjective. What does that mean to somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I gotta walk out of that movie feeling like I got my money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
I saw something that, even if it's familiar or something new,
Enjoyed it.
my mind again it goes back to holding my attention. Like my mind didn't wander, right?
Uh-huh.
So story's great, directing is good, acting is good.
Mm-hmm.
Every movie's gonna have flaws for sure.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes when I like a movie, if I don't like a movie, I'm definitely not gonna watch it again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's something that comes on streaming or cable.
Oh, fuck yeah. For sure.
If it's a good movie, I'll often go watch it the second time and try to figure out what did I really like about it, and I look at all the technical aspects, right?
Yeah.
Example, like I saw Top Gun Maverick twice,
For sure. That is fucking phenomenally made, man.
right? I watched
Dare I
it
even
twice.
say something we've never seen before, right? Like those
There
cockpit
was some the aerial sequences are really cool.
right?
There seemed to be a little more depth to Tom Cruise's character Maverick, more than what we knew from the first one, right?
Yeah.
It was all about gung ho, airplane pilots, woo,
Yeah,
dogfight,
yeah.
whatever. So this one involved a little bit more character depth,
Because he's also older, and you know we've
and we're familiar with who he is.
exactly
Yes,
we've known him for like fucking
but
30
then we
years.
understand more about his character, what he's doing, what he's been doing, and why they're calling him back, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think maybe it's just me being in the biz for so long and reading scripts and writing scripts.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes people get really lazy with giving Easter eggs that before the movie's done or halfway through, or sometimes the moment it happens, I go, I already know what's gonna happen.
You're gonna see
Right?
you're gonna see it coming.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, for example, right? So for all your viewers that are watching, we're gonna give away some shit that if you haven't seen the movie, tough shit, you're gonna hear it from us, right?
It's spoiler. I'm gonna put spoiler review on the top.
Right.
Because it's
So
been out for a
let's
while.
say,
It's
for
been out this
example,
weekend.
In Top Gun, right? They're talking about the Russian base, Russian airfield.
They don't say Russian,
and
though,
then mention,
right?
well, that's it.
It's implied. It's
We
implied.
know what it is.
We know it's implied. But
Right?
right. Yeah. Go.
Right. But they just happen to have an American F-14 Tomcat in one of their hangars. Just happen
Why?
to have it.
Yeah.
Why? Right?
Yeah.
As soon as they mentioned that, I was like, he's gonna steal it.
But wasn't it cool though? Did it feel what? It was good. It was a goosebumps moment for me. It's like whoa, you know he's gonna steal it. You know he's gonna steal it, but you want him to steal it, right?
Here's for me why it's nostalgic. The F-14 Tomcat was in service for a long time.
Long time.
And when I lived in San Diego, in some part of my childhood years and most part of my teenage years, I lived literally a few miles away from Fighter Town, USA, or Top Gun.
Uh-huh.
So to see the Tomcats flying over and doing their maneuvers all the time, to us, if we lived around that area, we were just like, okay, that's cool, not a big deal.
Uh-huh.
But then when Top Gun comes out and everybody's like, Fighter Town USA, everybody's like, oh, the secret training place. The secret training place is right in the middle of fucking San Diego, dude.
But wasn't that nostalgic for you to see it again? Because it's like, oh, I'm brought back to my childhood when I used to see that shit almost on a daily basis doing their shit.
Yeah, yes and no. Because I'll tell you why. We have a good family friend who worked at Miramar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he brought us into the facilities where they do the flight simulators. So we were on a Hawkeye flight simulator. We did a Hawkeye night landing on an aircraft carrier, which is really cool.
What do you mean you did one? You watched?
You actually sat in the plane simulator. And you felt the pressure and the tilting and all this kind of stuff, and you're doing it. We did a night landing on an aircraft carrier. Really cool.
Nice. I only did that in the fucking game. Remember the game where you have to land it on the. That was the hardest part.
This one, we're talking a real flight simulator. You feel the air pressure and you feel the tilt because the whole simulator moves, right?
Yep.
So you feel the descent, you feel the acceleration, deceleration, all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
We didn't get to go on the F-14 simulator because at the time I don't think they allow it, but there was somebody testing. But you can watch it from the outside. It's a giant dome, and the simulator can go left and right, up and down, and all this kind of shit.
Nice.
That it's just really cool. So in that sense, it was brought back memories.
Uh-huh.
But the flight sequences were really cool.
Yeah.
Naturally, you can't fly like that in between mountains like that. They're not going to allow it.
Look, wasn't that real? I kind of bought into the.
No.
Really? Because when I know we're talking about Top Gun, we'll get to Prey. Don't worry. But I've been dying to talk about Top Gun. Anyway, when that released, I got to bring Willie to the premiere of that here in the Philippines. We got it it was on a Monday, and it was showing on a Thursday, but we watched it on the Monday that it was released. There was a segment there where the movie starts off with so imagine you're in IMAX, right? And it's fucking Tom Cruise. It's like, hello. And it gives this whole speech about everything that's in this film is all done practically and as much as possible. And he's like, with my scenes, I'm the one behind the plane and all that shit. With almost not.
He's actually in second seat. He's actually in second seat.
Really? He's not doing the.
Yeah. No, he's not flying it. No.
He's not flying
it. It's a two-seater, so
I know.
back. Right? He's in it. For sure, he's in the plane, but he's not flying it.
Oh, he's not flying it? Isn't he flying it?
No.
He's
not.
Really?
He's
shattering my
navigator's seat.
Really? Because
yes.
he did that stunt with Corden. He was flying Corden. Did you see that clip?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he can fly a plane, but he can't fly a fucking jet. Come on.
He flew a jet on the. Did you watch the Corden one? The one he.
Yeah, but not. He can't fly. He can't fly a freaking F-14 or whatever the other plane was that was what they used. Can't. Come on, man. That takes a long time to freaking learn how to fly those.
Bro,
things.
He's been doing this shit for 30 years. Come on, man. I think it was Tom.
The Navy would not let him. The Navy would not let him do
Even
that.
if you're fucking Tom Cruise, bro.
Not to fly a plane, no. Not one of
That's your poster boy.
That's
like your poster. Everyone's fucking joining your program because of his movies,
What's that plane cost? $4 billion or something like that? They ain't gonna let him fly that plane. It costs more than the movie.
That's true. That's true. Anyway, we're going too far away. Let's go back to your enjoyment of movies and the two movies you fucking watched before we get into praying.
All right.
So what was Easter Sunday?
Bullet Train.
Oh, Bullet Train. Let's start with Bullet Train.
First movie I watched was Bullet Train. Now, I had a feeling it was going to be what it was.
For sure.
And
like generic from the
for me, it was like an attempt at Guy Ritchie style filming of Snatch.
Who directed this one?
Well,
look it up.
I think it was David Leitch. David Leitch, who did was it Deadpool? I think it was Deadpool.
I'm checking. Yeah, it's David Leitch.
Right, and David Leitch was also part of formerly, but not still associated with 8711, the guys who were in charge of John Wick. So, you know, a lot of the action stuff coming out of the U.S., a good number of them are people that come from 8711. And David was very instrumental in recreating action in a certain way. But story-wise, where Bullet Train is concerned, it had the same kind of structure that I felt Snatch had. It tried to do the humor, which I felt in probably most of the instances, it felt too forced to me. Some of the action bits are cool, but overall for me, it's a movie that I would not pay to watch again. As a viewer, it's like if it comes on TV, if it comes on cable, if it's streaming, I might watch it.
Okay.
But generally speaking, again, you know, this misconception that I'm an action genre loving guy, it has to be something fresh and new for me, because doing it for so many years, I'm bored.
Yeah.
With most of it.
I would even say semi-jaded. You're a bit jaded. Would you consider yourself jaded?
Yeah, okay. Let's take for example, people who are fanatics of old school kung fu movies, Five Deadly Venoms, or this or that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I grew up on the stuff too, and I can certainly appreciate it for what it was at its time. But the evolution of fights for action have gone way beyond that, and there are a lot of people that still want to include those elements. For me, I'm past that. I'm done with that. I've seen it, and not that you can come up with something completely new or innovative, but how do you present it? To me, it's how you present it.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
How it's choreographed. There's a million ways that you could do anything and everything.
Color graded, you know.
Yeah. How do you catch my attention? What's going to be cool? Like there are movies that come around every decade or so that just change the scope of the movies. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, right? Yeah. When that came out, Hollywood was like, you know, that wire work has been going on in Hong Kong for the longest freaking time.
We've been seeing it here in the Philippines. Yeah.
Right. When we saw it, we were like, okay, cool, right, nice, but there wasn't anything new. And Hollywood, with the old boys stud club, they're like, it's just gonna be a fad. This wire work stuff is gonna be a fad.
And
nope, it didn't. It stuck. You know, so there's so many wire teams nowadays, and they're using, you know, machines and all this stuff, whereas Hong Kong or mainland China stuff, they're just still doing hand pull stuff, bro. You know, so they're a little more old school in that respect. So again, going back to these movies that made such impacts in terms of action, you had that. Then you had
I'd say
Tony Jaa movies.
Tony Jaa
movies came in and showed like a certain
No, but
brutality.
that's not Hollywood though. Yeah, that wasn't.
No. I
Yeah,
mean, just generally speaking, movies that come around every once in a while that change the scope of stuff.
Yep.
So Tony Jaa came around and showed how Muay Thai can be applied to movies and making contact in a way that was like very brutal, if you will. 10 years later, after that, you get The Raid, and now you take the Hong Kong stuff and put ultraviolet stuff to it, added to it.
Yeah.
Right? For me, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, it's still Hong Kong kind of choreography.
But The Raid is Indonesian, right? Yep.
And they showed like the brutality, the hits.
Yeah.
So again,
that's been done to death now.
With choreographers or the story, it changes the game, right? So when I moved into this transition to wanting to produce, started to attend a lot of film distribution conventions, and all the buyers look for something that is kind of the it thing. So they would refer to it as like, is it like The Raid? That's what
exactly.
They are creative.
Yeah.
So they're only thinking of something that might have made money, or change the game a little bit.
Change the game. The Raid changed the game, right?
The Raid certainly changed the game.
Changed the game.
But I'm looking at it from many different aspects, right? There were two moments in that movie that made me go, "Oh wow, okay, that's hardcore." Because I know, as a stunt guy, that and the choreographer, from the choreographer's point of view, when you look at stuff that is practical, meaning that it's done live, you could see that there's a little bit more admiration for what it's done, as opposed to something that's CGI'd or wire assisted. You know what I mean? So I go, okay, that was for real, and I like that. But again, when it comes to, this is just me being a butthead. I always try to look for realism in my preference of fight choreography. I look for realism and practicality and innovation.
Okay.
Right? I don't know if we discussed this before, but when I saw how many times the guy would do that to the guy's back and nothing's happening, okay, why didn't you try something else? Was the choreographer losing his ideas? Like, what else can we do here? But I saw that.
Is he filling up time more than?
Didn't help. So, dude, from us as practitioners, real martial arts practitioners, if we don't see that this is working, why would I keep doing this?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And then, so again, Bullet Train.
Non-spoiler for both movies, by the way. Before we
But going back to Bullet Train, I just felt like it was something that I have already seen. We are now just in different circumstances, right? And different actors putting their spin on it.
But the cast is strong. I'm looking at the cast. We got Sandra Bullock's in it too.
Yeah, only for a beat, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
man.
She's not in it very long.
Karen Fukuhara is also in it. I like her. She's in The Boys. I don't know if you've seen The Boys. And Katana. She's also.
Yeah. Right. That's right. So again, when I watched Bullet Train, I felt like this is all familiar. They're trying to throw cracks, try to be funny. I felt it was forced humor. Some of the action is good. But at the same time, for me, somewhat predictable too.
Yeah, I always remember stuff like, you're always in my head whenever something happens in a movie. I'm like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. The first thing I think is, would Sonny have seen that coming? Which I'll get into later with Prey. I have a lot of questions for you about that. How about Easter? What is it? Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday.
Supporting our boy.
I'm going to try my best to be matter of fact about it. Okay. As a Filipino American, I rooted for it and
For sure,
I
for
think
sure.
it'll be successful to a degree, but it's certainly geared toward a niche market.
Mm-hmm.
Your base of Filipinos are going to watch it because it's something Filipino,
Mm-hmm.
and Hollywood just doesn't represent Filipino Americans at all.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. You think was this over like on the nose or over the top the way they did it, or was it funny enough?
Interestingly, I'll tell you what was the odd thing about it.
Because the
Right
trailer alone, it's like
here's
there's
your
nothing
spoiler.
funny in that fucking trailer.
This is your spoiler, bro. This is your spoiler. Okay.
Okay, little
So the
spoiler. Don't spoil the
storyline
whole-
is
Okay.
the storyline is that his character is auditioning for a TV show.
Uh-huh.
Originally, he's supposed to be a supporting cast member, and they want to offer it to him, but only if he does the accent. And he keeps going, I'm better than the accent. I'm funny. I can act. I don't need to do the accent.
Plus, he doesn't.
But
really
the whole
do the accent
movie,
so well.
the whole movie is based on the premise of his relatives speaking with the accent.
Do they speak it well though? Is it believable accent?
It's
right. It's not.
They're Filipinos for sure, but it's a little over the top.
There you go.
And this is my point about the movie. If you were thinking to yourself, what is it about this movie that I can't put my finger on? It would be this: lack of direction and bad acting.
Who was directing that?
Across the board.
Across
the board.
Wait, let me check.
Across the board. Because if I read it on script, right? If I just read the script, I would probably think, oh, there's some really good funny bits in here. But execution, for me, failed. Why? And here's your giveaway. Why is a movie titled Easter Sunday showing in August?
That's true. Because they wanted to hit the summer market?
No. For the entertainment industry, it's the movie that a studio says, we're not going to make any money on it. Let's just put it here and see if it does.
What? Correct me if I'm wrong. August is like prime time. That's because
August is not. It's the end of summer, bro.
Oh, it's the end of summer. Yeah. Because your best movies are usually around your June, May, a little bit of April.
May, June, July.
May, June, July.
Tama. Right?
August is the end of fucking summer.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. No, but at least it's not in the dead zone. Because I know your dead zone is your Jan, your Febs, and your Marches, right? March is kind of hot already, right?
No. Feb nowadays, January and Feb have become hot spots because a lot of times a movie doesn't have to compete with anything else. So all of a sudden, there's this one blockbuster that comes out.
In a studio's mindset, that's the dead months, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, in terms of this, I already got wind from insiders in the entertainment industry that said it's not a good movie. I didn't want to base my judgment.
It was cringy. Yeah, go.
I didn't want to base my judgment on what they said. I said, I want to see for myself.
Always. Yeah.
Right?
Always.
Watched it and I went, yeah. But here's the thing. There's a lot of my friends who are going, oh, we're so proud. Oh, it's so good. It reminded me of me. It reminded me of my parents. And that's all fine and dandy. But for me, that shit was corny as fuck.
Now, here's the thing with, reminds me of this, blah. I hate, a little bit on the seeing myself on screen bullshit. It doesn't have to be like a fucking Filipino doing a Filipino accent for me to see myself on screen. I could see myself I'm going ahead of the review, but in a character who's like a Comanche fucking lady Indian who's being, trotted on by her tribe because she wants to be something they don't think she can be. You know what I mean? Right. He doesn't have to be Joe Coy, who's fucking bald into speak. You know what I mean? That's not how I identify. Fucking bring.
No, but see, here's the thing with Joe's whole shtick is that when he started as a comedian, he didn't touch the Filipino content. He tried to do universal comedy.
Yeah.
It wasn't until that he started using his mom and his family's experience as his niche that he got a following.
Yep.
And that shit was funny. But he's not the original OG Filipino.
Nah, hell no. My boy Rex is, motherfucker.
Rex is, man.
Rex is,
right?
man. Rex is the man. Rex is the man.
Now, the thing about it is, Rex is a working stand-up comedian, but he doesn't have Joe's popularity per se.
In this
because
era,
he came
I would
out.
say it was popular back in our day, right?
Well, yeah, or 90s, right? He was the dad.
He was fucking the man. He was the man, bro.
Right? So, and Rex is a buddy. You know, I talk to him often. I'd love to cast him in something. We'll see. You know, eventually.
I got him out here, by the way. Shout out to Rex. That's how I met him. Because when I was working with Marl, we were looking for a story. Like, let's do something. Because we usually get like musical acts and all that. And then someone said, "What if we get like a comedy act?" And I'm like, "Rex Navarrete," and everyone's like, "Rex Navarrete." But L, you do that.
Right.
So I got him here. Bro.
Okay. Yeah, just to preempt this, I'm not shitting on Joe Coy's movie because I'm a buddy of Rex's and I'm trying to push Rex ahead of Joe Coy. It's not about that. We're just talking matter of factly. From my point of view, I'll tell you these are the things that didn't sit well with me where the movie's concerned. The funniest thing for me about the movie was the director, who was an Eastern Indian guy, who was playing.
I can't even pronounce his name. Anyway, yeah.
Right? He's playing his agent.
Okay, he's in the movie. Okay.
He's in the movie. And he has a few scenes here and there. He was the funniest part of the whole movie was his shtick. Because the thing about it is, whenever he would have a conversation with Joe, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm about to go into this tunnel. I can't right? Oh, running out of the So there are like 3 or 4 of those scenes. Those are funny to me. None of the Filipino stuff was funny at all.
I could tell. Because you could tell from the trailer, right? You could tell from the trailer.
The worst actor in the whole thing, bro, to me, was the guy who played his son.
I think that's his actual son, right?
No, it's not.
Was it? Not. I'm looking at the cast.
He should have used his own son. Eugene,
is that the son?
Yeah. I don't know if he's really half Filipino, but, you know, he looks like a Hapa American guy.
This is... Oh, is it Brandon? No, Junior Valencia. Brandon Wardell. There you go. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, I was like, they cast him? Ugh. His acting sucked. Ugh.
Man,
I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate.
No. We're just calling it as it is. That's why I'm about to preface it by saying this. We're proud of him because he's doing this thing, and finally it's a movie. Which brings me to my next question: do you think this should? I mean, we're proud that it's in the cinema, but don't you think it would have been better if it fucking went to something like the net? It would have been more popular rather if it would have sold to like a Netflix or a streaming than in the cinema.
They're trying to milk it, bro. Because whatever money they put into it for both production costs and then publicity and advertising, they got to recoup as much as possible. So it's gonna end up streaming anyway.
That's true.
They'll recoup whatever the costs were for producing it by streaming.
Yeah.
Everything that you're getting in the movies is icing on the cake.
Yeah, I get it. It's like a
It wasn't a big movie and then go to streaming. It's let's do streaming, but let's see how much money we can make on the side by releasing it and theatrically.
Yeah, it's like a maiden voyage, like a trial run.
And you know what? For me, as a film, I'm looking at this movie. I go, this is what people are going to think of as Filipino American.
That's what I was worried about. It's like, what the fuck?
Dude, this is my issue with it. This is my issue, and I said it on Facebook. I'm not going to give you props just because you're Filipino and did something and pat you on the back if what you did was shitty.
You said that? I didn't read that.
I was more politically correct.
Yeah, I said, you were kinder.
The problem with Pinoy pride is we want, when I say collectively,
Okay.
Not me. We.
Okay.
We want a pat on the back to go, oh, you did a movie about Filipinos. Congratulations.
See, that's a fucking accent that's not even real.
Right? But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're Filipino American, Filipino, Igorot, whatever.
Was
if you
it
put
good?
something out,
Yeah.
if you put something out, it's no longer yours. It's the public's.
Yeah.
Right?
And we fucking paid for it. You know what I mean? Right?
But that's what I'm saying. Why I rooted for it. If it does well, fantastic. But in a certain way, though, bro, I was encouraged because I was like, oh, wow. So Filipino Americans, regardless of how good it is or how bad it is, going to go out and support it. That means I can go out and make a shit movie and they're going to come and pay.
But you got to have the levels of like a Joe Coy. You know what I mean? You got to have like a... you have to have
and
like
that's the only reason why. It's because it is Joe Coy. You think that if it wasn't Joe, that anybody would give a shit? No.
No. Well, it depends on if it's like another popular Filipino dude.
There was another popular Filipino dude who did something, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
Who? Something similar? Something similar?
Not saying anything, bro, because he's a friend.
No. So okay. Outside Joe Coy, has anyone like in the
It's
same
on Amazon
vein?
Prime. It's on Amazon Prime.
What's it called? Give it a shout out then, like so we can check it out. You don't like it because it's.
I don't want to shout it out because I shit on it. I watched it for 20 minutes and turned it off, bro.
Fucking, we just shit on Joe Coy's thing. I'm curious.
Joe Coy's not a friend of mine. Joe's not a friend of mine.
Okay.
This other guy who made this movie is a friend of mine. So
tell me offline. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. So these
again, it's a friend of mine. But again, if I could just be straight up and critique it,
yeah. See,
nope.
this is why I love doing this shit with you, bro. I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean this in a good way. You're thick-skinned. You know what I mean? That you can take shit and you will give shit, but it's not out of malice or out of hate that you do it. It's out of honesty. Because
I want us to succeed.
Exactly.
Us collectively as Filipinos to be looked at and people go, these guys are badass.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
and if we put half-ass shit out there, guess what everybody's gonna think?
Yeah.
Oh, they all suck.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
This guy's Filipino, that guy's Filipino, they don't have a good track record.
They're not funny that way. Or I mean we know they
don't their stories aren't relevant.
Least.
We can't relate to what the fuck they're talking about.
Exactly.
And that's not to me good representation.
Mm-hmm. Right now,
I don't want to be. I don't want to be known as. See, okay, his whole thing was this premise of Filipino Americans, Filipinos don't have enough representation in Hollywood. So now that gets put out, is that what represents us?
Exactly.
No, I don't want that. I don't want everybody to think that, oh, yeah, Sonny's Filipino because she talk like that.
Exactly. Anyway, well, moving from those two things that could have just gone to streaming compared to now we're going to get into the fucking meat of it. Something, in my opinion, should have been fucking went to streaming, straight to streaming, not even your Disney Plus. It's fucking Hulu, which is like the sister company of Disney.
Yeah.
Which, to me, we're talking about Prey now. The prequel, or it's a Predator franchise movie. Let's just put it that way. That should have gone to the cinema, right?
Yeah.
So I text you, and I saw you react. That you're like, oh no, Sonny's having a bad movie fucking experience, and I had a good.
I saw all the promo stuff for Prey months ago, so I was looking forward to it. Right.
Yep.
And then you're the one who reminded me it's out now. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta watch it.
It's fresh. It was fresh. It was. I watched it. I was waiting for it. I was so excited.
Dude, if you want to know how to make a good trailer to get someone interested, that movie had it.
That's true. Yeah. Actually.
Right? Because if you think about it, the whole setup was Prey, and they didn't initially say Predator.
They never said.
But at the end of the fucking thing, when he goes, "Ching," we're like, "Oh shit, it's a Predator movie."
Exactly.
Watch it, right?
It was
Yep.
so badass that it fucking dropped the name. You know what? It dropped the Predator name, but it's. I think it's the most Predator we've gotten in a while, right? You think,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So your
I mean,
thoughts?
for
Start it
me,
off. Start it off.
I've seen how many Predator movies?
I've
I
seen
think
all
five
of
or
them.
six of them.
Uh-huh.
I've seen 5 or 6 of them, right? The first one's still the baddest to me. It's still the fucking dopest.
Fuck yeah, for sure.
This one, Prey to me was the second.
Really? Wow. That's high praise. That's
Yeah.
high praise. Because me, coming from
Right.
a guy who appreciates, because I'm a big Predator fan. For me, I was thinking about it since I've seen it. I would dare even say that it's my favorite alien fucking creature, cinematic alien creature, for me.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
always been buff. He's tall. He's got these cool. So for me, my appreciation of it is as shallow as long as the fucking alien looks cool, as long as the Predator looks cool. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
enjoy all the. I've watched all of the movies more than once just because I want to see how it looks. You know what I mean? From a design and artistic point of view, I enjoy it just on that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
Right. So it's a great look. It's a fantastic look. It's a scary motherfucking look.
A unique look.
And so for me, it falls into horror just as much as it is sci-fi.
Right. I was gonna ask you that.
Right?
Which is the first one. If you watch it again, it's pretty slow and pretty. It builds up to that horror builds up, right? Outside the action, right?
But see, if you think about it this way, all that the original Predator and this Predator built upon its premise of the unseen creature.
Right.
What started that trend? What started it?
The unseen creature. What started?
And
that?
Just built up tension. That by the time the fucking thing came out, you're like, "Oh shit!"
Are we talking like
Jaws?
What?
Jaws.
Jaws. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. That's true.
Right?
Yep,
So what you can't see is a lot scarier than what you can see.
Can't see. That's true. Why didn't I get Jaws?
Right?
Yeah. I was thinking Jaws. Yep.
Yep. So, and again, I'm not a big horror guy. I'm not a big sci-fi guy.
I'm a big horror guy and a sci-fi.
So for me to be into something like this, right? The story has to be really compelling.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many elements in there. You have your Native American people.
Right. We'll get a shine on in this film. They got a shine on.
Primitive, right, in a sense, where their weaponry is concerned, but they're a warrior culture that a lot of indigenous cultures will be able to relate to. Filipinos should be able to look at that and go, wow,
exactly. Yeah,
I get it. Africans can look at that and go, wow. Hawaiians can look at that and go, wow, we get it.
That's representation, right? You know what I mean? Or,
yes.
Or like seeing myself on screen, that type of shit. We could relate to the story through that. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like a Filipino doing, you know what I mean? It's a fucking Comanche. No. These are Comanche. You're like, whoa. Plus the struggle.
The story has to be universal. Secondary is whatever ethnicity is being represented in there. Of course, you know, an important element of there is in Prey is this notion that a tribal member becomes a warrior, right? That transition from a child into a warrior, someone who contributes to the community. So that's a big part. But that warrior ethos exists in all cultures. Right? Especially brown cultures.
Us. Well, I was gonna get to not get to. She wasn't even fucking in this story. She wasn't even asking to be a warrior. She wanted to be a hunter, which I think
correct
is a different. It's a level lower than the fucking warrior, right? Isn't it?
Yes and no. Again, we're talking about what does the hunter provide, right? He provides sustenance and protection
for the tribe
in the same sense that the warrior does for the tribe. right?
Uh-huh.
But there's this transition that's not only about a coming of age, but also gender roles,
Yes. Which for
right?
me, this does well. You know what I mean? It's not the typical Mary Sue. You know, just to explain what a Mary Sue is, someone who's like a character who's perfect or infallible, who everyone's like, who everyone likes rather. Someone like a
Yeah,
Rey Skywalker or Rey in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Someone who's,
right,
oh, you're so perfect, you're so awesome because you're a woman. That's the type of shit we usually get nowadays, which they don't do in this movie, right? In this movie, she has struggles. She has her faults. You know, she's proud and she's hard headed. She doesn't want to listen to her mom. You know what I mean?
right,
And
right.
she gets hurt. Even in the fight scenes,
That's right.
you could people would say, oh, but she beat that dude. But if you watch that fight, remember that scene where she's like, the dude's like, hey, let's go home and
Trying to drag her, let's go home,
drag
right,
her,
right.
right? If you look at that fight scene, I love that. And correct me if you've seen something, if you saw something different. The dude was not trying to hit her. The dude was like just holding her down. Stop it, and then she fucking hits him or bites him. But the guy never throws a punch at him. You know, like fuck you, bam, stay down. He never does. Which was
I
like
gotta watch that again.
it was a big.
I think he might have thrown a couple punches.
No.
Part of the reason why he doesn't though is because her brother is the man,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So no one wants to fuck with his little sister, knowing he's gonna kick their ass.
Exactly. But that's my point. It wasn't the guy wasn't going full clip at her. That's why she was able to put up a fight. That's my point. In
That makes
scene.
sense. Yeah, absolutely
Right?
makes sense.
Because
Right.
unless you're like fucking you're Black Widow taking down fucking 5 muscular guards, you know what I mean? That
Well,
shit strikes me as
there's a key element that we're talking about in what you're discussing here, and that is suspension of disbelief.
There you go. Yes, very similitude.
Right? We have to look at something that, even though, okay, first of all, I have a friend who commented on a thread about Prey. So one of my buddies is a director writer, and he wrote that he loved it. It was like in his top
Right.
3 of the series. And a friend of mine commented, and this friend always has something to fucking rag about or complain about. So he was
That's
he was saying
That's you.
he was saying that the Native Americans were using obsidian rock to make their blades and shit. He goes, that wouldn't cut no fucking predator. I'm like, it's a fake movie, dude. He's an alien from outer space. So your reality that a obsidian rock cut into a blade wouldn't cut a predator. Do you hear yourself? It's like Joe Coy saying, I don't want my character to talk Filipino, but everybody else in my movie has got to do the accent. Suspension of disbelief. If you can get me to believe what's happening, right? Because it makes sense.
Uh-huh.
And like you said, when you thought about it, right? You go, why was she be able to beat him up? It's because he wasn't going full force. He wasn't fully trying to, and you go, okay, that made sense.
Right, exactly. It
Right?
made sense. Yep.
So those are very critical things to see. Sometimes we don't understand it, but internally we feel it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the movie, a movie's doing well if it makes you fucking feel like that. You know, right? Am I right in saying that?
Well, again, when I watched the whole thing, the first thing that caught my attention was, and mind you, I'm just watching this on my computer. I don't have 4K. I don't even know if this laptop that I have is 1080, bro. It might be 720, right? But all I just was looking is like, wow, the shots are fucking beautiful.
Cinematography. That's what.
Cinematography was
dope. That was the first thing. Wasn't it the fucking shots were? I think for me, and we're movie buffs. We love this shit. Some of the shots, it was kind of Bong Joon-ho. You know what I mean? Like Korean style with the sweeping.
Little bit.
With the sweeping.
Yeah, big sweeping landscapes.
Right.
But here's the thing, right? And I've been thinking about this too because I'm about to buy a drone.
You should, bro. Those fucking things, man.
You got to imagine, you couldn't get a lot of those shots unless you had big money because you had to be up in a fucking helicopter to do that.
Exactly. Not anymore,
right?
Though. Not anymore.
No, now you have 4K and 8K drones that can fucking go up and just get that shit without having the fisheye lens, and it just looks like a fucking panoramic shot. That adds so
Right?
much
Fuck yeah!
production value to your fucking movie.
Yes, yes. There was this one shot where she was walking with her dog. It was a top shot,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
it was moving, and then it cuts, boom, and then they're in the forest, and then they're still
Yep,
walking.
yep,
That's a
yep.
fucking drone. You can see every blade of grass in that shit, man. That was a right. That was a Bong Joon-ho shot for me. You know what I mean? It was. You remember that side in Parasite where it was also a top shot and it was flooding, and then it cuts.
Yes,
That's what it
yes.
reminded me of. So I'm like,
Okay, there you go.
that's fucking
There you go.
cinematography, and it got you in the mood, right? You're like, okay, I can
Well,
imagine
well,
there's no buildings.
when you think about that, when you think about that kind of landscape,
Mhm.
right? Then it puts you in the scene to understand what's your environment. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
So,
Yep.
so now
Immerses you.
you feel like
You're
you're in
immersed.
it.
Yep.
You're
You're
dealing with
immersed.
it, right? And they did an excellent job with that. I read some of the backstory. A lot of the people that were cast in it never acted before. But
Mhm.
what I loved about this was, even though yes, they're not fully talking Comanche, most of it is in English.
No, but remember how it started off as Comanche first and
Yeah, yeah,
then
yeah. But
English?
eventually it
Yeah,
breaks into
and
English.
I love it.
That's not anything new. A lot of people have
Yeah,
done that.
they've done that in Warrior.
Tarantino has
Remember
Tarantino
Warrior?
has done it.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
So there's a lot of movies that
So I
done it.
was cool with that.
But what
Oh,
what I
sorry,
like about it is
bro. Sorry to
what
cut
I
you
like
off.
about it.
Sorry to cut you
Go
off.
ahead.
They're gonna fucking actually do. They have a Comanche version, which they'll be releasing next.
Yes, I know.
You
My
guys, did
friend
you hear
watched
about
the
that?
Comanche version. My friend watched the Comanche version, and he's like, "It's all in Comanche." I'm like, "Dude, they break into English. Just chill out."
No, but
Because
they
I
have a
turned it off.
version that's gonna be just They have a version of the movie where all the actors are speaking Comanche. Did you know that?
That might be even better. Because here's my thing: even if they did it in English, right?
I would prefer they did it in English.
Either or, everybody for me that I watched was super human. Like not superhuman, but just very regular human beings having
Yes.
conversation and dialogue with each other. That was real.
Yes. Yep.
You know how they
Uh-huh.
said it would be just like how you and I are having a conversation.
Right
It
now.
wasn't
No
these
dumb
overblown
accents.
words, or I'm saying like overblown words or shit that just people don't say to each other. Like I wouldn't go. I wouldn't say something like, this is how this is what I'm talking about when writers are too much about themselves
Mm-hmm.
and they write a corny ass line. So they'll say something, for example, like, so we're talking about movies, right?
Uh-huh.
You and I are discussing movies.
Yep, yep, yep.
That's very natural. As opposed to me going, so Pael, you know, the difference between da, 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 da. It's not how we talk to each other.
Yep, yep. It's not natural.
Yeah. And
Uh-huh.
that's what I liked about everybody in the movie. Yeah, it might come off a bit white, you know? And
How does it come across as white?
because for the simple fact that it's in English.
But that's the
If
medium.
it was spoken in Comanche, it might have a different energy.
Mm-hmm.
Much the same way that if we saw a movie in Tagalog and then the same movie in English, would it necessarily translate or have a different vibe?
Yep. I get what you mean.
See what I'm saying?
Yep. But
Right.
I think shit like
Imagine
this,
like this. Imagine if Apocalypto was all spoken in English.
That's true. I was thinking that when I was watching the movie too. But God honest truth, bro, I'm one of those guys who didn't appreciate Apocalypto for that because I don't like reading my movies. I like watching my movies. When I watch something with subs, it's like my enjoyment is like 10% less because I'm reading.
Understood. No, I understood.
Because I like
Understood.
watch. You know what I mean? I like noticing the background or the gestures of the people, which I miss when I'm reading shit. Sans if it's like unless it's like something like a Korean flick. Korean I can do because I can relate with the Koreans because when they talk, they don't do a lot of gestures. They don't. Not a lot is happening in the background. You know what I mean? The way they do their movies is when they're talking, they're just talking, and then the actions or the everything else that happens in the
They
background or whatnot.
separate the physicality away from the dialogue. Is that what you're saying?
Thank you. That's what I'm trying
Okay.
to say. Yep, yep. That's how.
Okay.
But when it comes to something like Apocalypto, a lot of things are happening, but I find myself reading it more than I'm watching it. You know what I mean?
Understood.
So for me, again, that's a
Right.
personal thing. I'm not. I'm saying. I'm not saying
But at the
you
end,
have a point.
here's what you try to key in on this. A very important thing when you're reading subtitles. Uh, I learned this. I don't know if they do this in the Philippines, but here in the States, at the time when I was growing up through elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
up through middle school, we had speed reading. We had this
Oh, I read
machine,
fast. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I read
right?
fast.
That would click up, click up, click up, click up, and work on your speed. So what you end
Uh-huh.
up doing is you cut out all non-essential words. You look for
Yep.
subject, you look
Yes,
for
yes.
verb.
Take out the
You
R,
forget all the
with.
prepositions, you
Yep.
forget about your conjunctions. So then all you have to do is see one or two words and you get context. That's how I understand Filipino, bro. That's how I understand Tagalog. I don't know word by word everything that someone's being said, but I understand where they're coming from because I understand context.
Yep, yep.
So when you're watching a movie with subtitles, don't try to read word for word. You have to
Yeah.
look at it.
I get
You
it. I
have to
get
look
it.
at the
Yeah, yeah,
whole phrase and just pick out the word and go, I get what's happening and connect it with the scene.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. But still, I'm picking out words. You know what I mean? I'm still picking out words. I'm not watching. That's me. But again, that's me. I get what you're saying though. I get the feel would have been different if it's all like Comanche. You would have been put in like a time machine. It's like you were watching them in like a from a lens of a time machine. But
Right.
speaking of the words, right? We're moving. Well, let's move a bit farther ahead, and then we get to the Caucasians. Were they the French? Was it
Yeah.
right?
Uh French. Now here's the thing that
You're the one with
I
the
need
American
to
history, so I
yeah,
think they're
I was
French.
wondering if they were supposed to be Cajun French.
I I don't know who are the ones
And
who
then
skinned the buffaloes, and that's it.
right, I have to think about if I think the Comanches were supposed to be Plains Indians,
Uh
right?
huh.
But what I understand is, if I'm not mistaken, most of this was shot up in Canada,
Mm-hmm. I don't. I haven't done my research.
right? I
Let's
need
look
to
that up.
research that too. But I didn't know Comanches were in Canada. I thought they were just North. I thought
Well,
they were. Uh,
Canada's like your go-to shooting anyway, right? A lot of things are shot in Canada, especially for the
yeah, well,
fights.
that's budget. It's
Yeah,
budget.
budget.
So, but I don't know if Comanches are in Canada as opposed to U.S. territory Plains Indians. I don't know. I don't know that
Uh huh.
history,
Yeah.
right? So
No, but my
I
point
don't know how much that.
in bringing that up was remember when they started speaking in the language, it was kind of scary, and you would feel that you were put in the shoes of the how the Comanche would feel seeing these white folks fucking talking in a strange language. It was kind of done
Yeah.
scary. You know, it was like haunting the way it was done. It was
Well, it was
gibberish.
interesting, right?
It
So
was gibberish. It was not
unless
French. It was gibberish, like
a
intentionally
lot of
gibberish,
it was
right?
for her it would be, but for me it
Did
was
it sound?
interesting because I didn't need to read the subtitles because I speak a little French, so
Did it? Was it
I could
French?
hear.
It wasn't French.
Yeah,
It was gibberish
it was
by
French.
intention, right? It was
No,
intentionally
it's
gibberish.
French.
Really?
It's just very very street
Very
street guttural slang.
right. It's fucking. That was scary. I'm like, wow, that was cool. How it gave you the feel of how would you feel if you saw these fucking different looking people with metal and shit and guns, which you've never seen. It's another alien fucking, alien. What's the word I'm looking for? Alien invasion just by seeing them fucking invade your land. Oh, with the bear traps and shit.
Yeah,
The first
yeah,
time you
yeah.
see the bear trap, like the Indians didn't have those. They didn't have a lot of steel, right?
Supposedly at that time they
At
did.
that time they didn't, right? And then all of a sudden,
Oh, they did.
they did.
According to the guy who's talking shit about an obsidian knife, he said at that time, Comanches already had access to metal, according to him.
Okay, but in this movie, we were given the impression that they didn't, right?
Right. So the funny thing about, I'm just going to point out about my friend. He's a stunt guy. He's really good. He's actually extremely knowledgeable about kenjutsu, Japanese sword work. Very good.
Nice.
So the funny thing about him is, like, he hated what's our boy, the samurai movies?
Which ones? The black and white samurai movies?
No. The more recent shit. It was made from an anime.
Yeah. Kenshi. Samurai X. Samurai X.
Right?
Yep.
But yeah, so Kenshin fights with one-handed reverse grip a lot, right?
Yes. Reverse blade too.
So my buddy goes, all those fights are bullshit because there's not a real way how do you handle katana and this and that. I go, this is what I busted him on. I go, bro, remember that movie that you stunt coordinated, fight choreograph that you brought me on and played a zombie, and then your hero guy, you had him fight with the reverse grip? And he's like, yeah, that's the character. I go, exactly, that's Kenshin's character. So what the fuck are you complaining about? You did it in your own movie, dude. Funny people, man. And here's the thing. Let me again say just what I'm saying from an audience, a person from the audience watching a movie.
Okay.
I might have a little bit more criticism of things only because I'm an avid movie watcher.
Yes. Yep.
Right? And because I have a little bit more knowledge about how things are made or how they're done, how they're distributed, this and that, I'm a little bit more, I'm sure I'm far more critical than the average audience.
I was going to say that. You're very...
That being said, I'm not a know-it-all. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm the hardest critic of my own stuff that I've done, that I go, oh, fuck, it didn't pull it off the way I wish it could have, you know? Could have been better, or I wish I could have done something different. I'm not better than anybody else. There's people out there that are far way more talented than me. I'm just giving my opinion.
Yep.
My opinion. Yes. I'm not saying that anybody else's opinion is not validated. Just my opinion about how I see these things. That's it. Yep.
Well said, bro. But given that, you're usually Mr. That sucked. Thor sucked. I mean, for you to come back at me with that movie was badass, I knew you fucking liked it. And I know it's a good movie.
How many movies have we talked about where you go, oh, so good. It was good. And I went, man, that was a shit movie, dude.
Always, motherfucker. Always. Oh, that's why I'm surprised. No, I wasn't surprised because I knew the movie was good. So when you said it was badass, I'm like, yes! I think this is the first movie in our fucking, 5 years of knowing each other that you actually said it was badass, right? Think about it. Think about it.
Doctor Strange, fuck that movie.
Thor was gay. Oh, you said some. You wanted to shit on Thor too, but I didn't get you because we had a mix up with time. I loved it, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna shit on that on the next Tambay. But with this one, badass. I'm like, thank you. And plus, I knew it was a fucking good movie. What else stood out to you about the movie, bro? Yeah, from that critical eye, what sing its praise? Which ones do you think?
Okay, so interestingly, if we're talking about, and I don't know if people have caught this, when you look at this Predator and that time from the Predators of the present, his weapons were also less advanced.
Yes, because it's 300 years.
Right. It made sense that why wouldn't his civilization or culture or technology also advance as years go by? Yeah. So I was like, I don't know if people are catching that.
I caught that, yeah. Because the lasers, just when you remember the
that used normally to it's the laser. Yeah. He was shooting projectiles.
Yeah.
The present day aliens, if you saw those lasers, it shot a fucking
Yeah.
ray at your ass, you know?
Plus, this is also the first time I think we've seen those three like separate. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes,
It's
yes,
usually
yes,
like
yes.
this.
Right, they
This
would
one,
target different spots, right?
I'm like,
Right.
whoa! I'm like,
Yeah, it was sick.
that was fucking sick. And the shield was very cool.
Right.
That was the first time. If you think about it, also, you would only need a shield for more melee fighting, right?
Correct.
Which the
Hand to hand, right? More hand to hand.
More hand to
Right.
hand, which the future Predators didn't really need, if you think about it.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
this one would need that shield because that's what he's used to. Because the last
You know,
one,
it's
the later ones
something
were
that's cool about the Predators that no one doesn't think about. So, Predators already have an advantage in their technology and their
size
and their strength and all that stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
But they don't mind cheating if they have to, right?
That's true.
They get their ass beat and they go, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go invisible. You can't see me."
Or I'll drop a bomb. Remember in
Yeah,
this one,
yeah.
he dropped a bomb. I'm getting beat. I'll drop a bomb.
Exactly.
Because I mean, if you think about it, they're fucking suicidal in that I'm one versus an army. That's how they always do it. I'm like, okay, I'm
Yep.
gonna fucking challenge myself by finding the best fighter and kick his ass in that city. Imagine that. So there will be times where like, this is too much. I'm a run. I'm a smoke bomb.
The first moment in Prey that got me was when he fucking stabbed the rattlesnake. I was like, "Yo!"
He got me at the fucking ant. Remember how the ant was creeping and then it started going on his foot? I'm like, whoa, that is so badass. And then he fucking kills and I also loved how it illustrated that this guy's just hunting the predators, not the prey. He's leaving the prey, from that scene. Because remember the rat, and then it ate the rat. He fucking skinned that fucking snake, right?
Got the snake, and he got the wolf, right, instead of the rabbit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, wow. And she didn't have to say it, but she said it. He's like, he doesn't see me as a threat. You know what I mean?
Right.
This motherfucker doesn't see me as a threat because he looks like, if you think from another point of view, you could see that this guy's trying to protect her, right? Why
in a certain way.
In a certain way, but at the end of the day, he's not protecting you, bitch. He doesn't see you as a threat. That's the problem here. Which I'm like, that is such a good spin. You know what I mean?
Rather than her having said it, right? Should have been the brother. He said it again. He said it again when they were tied up to the tree.
Yeah.
Right? But that's where that should have been the reveal.
That's true.
He's the one who should have said, the reason why he ain't going after you is because he doesn't see you as a threat.
But I would contend by saying it's better that it comes from her, because if she doesn't take what other people say well, you know what I mean? If her brother would have said that, she would have been like, no, but I'm a warrior, you know what I mean? But
you know what? See, but that moment could have been the arc for her to realize, like, he's right, because she's always fighting against what other people are saying. She could be like,
but there's a moment like,
oh,
listen
shit,
to your
brother, right?
Yeah.
Listen
to your brother.
Damn, he's right, you know?
He's right, yeah.
But how the brother came back and fucked up the alien before he died, I was like,
yo, he's really the most fucking badass. See, she didn't pull any of those super fucking moves, which I dug, because, let's face it, 90-pound woman, it's not going to give the same fucking impact as a fucking warrior. And it's believable to me. I'm like, she did her own thing, which we'll get to probably later, on how she fucking beats the motherfucker.
Right.
But I want to bring up with that scene, remember how they established that the flower that makes your body cold?
The orange, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking cool too. Because I was
right?
I was under the impression when she got into the mud, I thought, oh, she's doing the Arnie thing. That's how she'll realize that he won't see you with the mud.
Right.
But they use that fucking flower instead. I'm like, whoa. So imagine you're fucking high as balls. You're trying to kill a predator.
Yeah. See, and that's what it would have been cool. I thought when she was taking it, if she started hallucinating in a certain way.
I thought she was
like, what would have been dope was, here's what would have been dope. When he's invisible, she could actually see shit. She goes, oh, there's a motherfucker right there.
That would have been cool. That would have been fucking
Right?
cool. Yeah. Because you're like,
Because what
depth
remember,
perception.
he's not invisible. His
not.
whatever it is that he has is refracting.
Yes. Yep.
Right? So it absorbs. So if you can see beyond what light
Yep.
projects,
some psychedelics could
right?
do.
Your eyes become heightened sensed or whatever. You start seeing shit. You're like, holy shit, there's a motherfucker right there.
Or better yet, I would have wanted to see her like shaking, because everyone who took it, remember, like the first dude who was down, the first one she fed it to, and that second dude who got his foot cut, he was shaking initially, right? It would have been nice if she was like, I don't know, that just a little bit of edit for me. You know what I mean? Like she's shaking when she's trying to aim or whatever. You would see the effects. Is what I'm saying.
That's a good thought. You could have played it like you're having multiple images. Right, so she's like trying to pick which one to shoot, and then you see like the tip of her arrow, but there's 3 arrows, right?
Right?
So
and at the
she's
same
like,
time, you'd see the fucking predator.
And then when she shoots it is when the arrows go.
Fucking awesome. And that dog, bro. Woo, I'm glad that dog did not die. I was so scared for that fucking dog, bro. That was cool. And my brother texted me because I told him, fucking watch it. Just trust me. It's awesome. And he's like, whoa, bro, I'm surprised. Even if it's like a female-led one, it's not as girl power. I'm like, yeah. And he's like,
no, not at all.
No wonder you were talking about dogs over dinner. Because over dinner, I was like, I miss having a dog. Like, fucker, so this is why you want a dog, huh? And I'm like, no, man, I just want a dog.
Copy. Right.
Dug it, man. I dug and I think this is the most. I think it's shorter too. This Predator is shorter than the other ones. You think?
Is it?
I think.
What was the length of time on that?
The what? No, I mean no. It's the shortest movie for sure. I mean, what I meant was.
Was it 90?
Yep, it was just 90 minutes. But I'm talking about his height.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't he
maybe
too?
this is what I thought of it. Right, initially when I saw that the alien, when he came to form, I said he's kind of skinny.
Skinny too.
Right.
Yep, and skinny.
So here's my thought about it. He was an adult predator.
Oh, that's a good point of view.
Right. If you think about it,
mistakes.
Right. Not just that, but he's also reflecting kind of like maybe it's his coming of age thing, right? And against fighting against these Native Americans that relatively are his age, if you will. Get it?
Which is
for me, I sensed he was like, just by his build, I go, oh, he's not an adult predator. He's like a teenager. That's kind of what I felt.
Nice.
That's what I felt.
I didn't get that sense, but yeah, that makes sense. But I was only looking at it from a visual aspect where I noticed that he's not that tall and he is skinny. But yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
He's a fucking younger predator.
Right.
It's fucking yeah, and which explains why when it gets when he goes against the older guys like the French dudes, he gets fucking clipped a lot of times in that fucking fight.
Yes. Right. But that's the first time that he really went against a bigger number of opponents as opposed to just 3 or 4. He had to fight a bunch of them, right?
That's true. And they were trapping him.
So, yeah, I mean, yes, right? The fact that he could get caught in a fucking bear trap himself.
Yeah. Because he wasn't really hunting them. He was really hunting the Comanches at first, right?
Yes.
Right? It was only that it was a surprise even for him. Man, fucking dug that movie, bro.
I'm gonna watch it again, bro. I'm definitely gonna watch it again,
Plus,
man.
It's a short one. Do you think something like this would have done better in the very well in the theaters?
Right. It should have went to the theaters, bro.
Right.
So let me put it this way: Wasn't it a Disney production? Oh no, it's 20th Century, right?
20th Century. Yep, yep. Which is also
So
Disney now,
20th Century.
but it was caught in that.
That's correct.
It was caught in that attention
So
span.
right, they lost on this one, man. They fucked up on this one.
Yeah, they underestimated it, right?
No, dude, they're relying on all their fucking Marvel movies, bro.
But this, for me, again, this is the first movie we've ever both liked. You know what I mean? In the 5 years I've known you, bro, it would have kicked their ass.
Should have been, yeah. No, they messed up. In my opinion,
right?
that should have been a theatrical release. Because just again, you know what, we watched off our little fucking screens and the cinematography. Can you imagine on a fucking big screen? You'd be like, yo, that's fucking sick. Right?
I have a sound bar and it fucking captured a lot of this. The sound design was amazing, especially in that final fight. You know, that victorious music that always gets me all goosebumped and shit. It was well done, bro. So imagine that in fucking Dolby Atmos. You know what I mean? The fucking it doesn't have to be 3D. Fuck the 3D. Just fucking shoot it in IMAX. I mean, show it to us in IMAX. The music will be great, and you would hear all the fucking the nuances of, like, you know, the leaves or whatever when they're running. I don't know. They lost. So against the two movies you saw, plus this one, those two, this one beats the fucking cinema for sure.
It made up for it, bro. It made up for it.
I'm happy to hear that.
And you got to think about it from my side. Here, average movie costs about, I think, $14, right?
What? How much is that in pesos, dude? That's
$14 is 700 pesos. Is that right?
No, more, because 10 times 50 is 500 plus
650,
900.
600. Yeah, 700 pesos.
700. That's not so far from here. Movies here, well, depends where you watch. You can still catch a movie. IMAX would cost you like $550.
Right, but that's IMAX, dude.
Exactly.
You know how much IMAX would be here? Probably like $25.
Damn.
Okay, so I watched two movies at $14 a piece. I'm sorry, I don't know. Easter Sunday was 16. I don't know why. So I just spent $30 for two movies, right? And then I got popcorn, hot dog, and a drink. You know how much that cost me? $22.
So that's $70 for the whole day.
So I just spent 30. I spent like $55 for two movies and refreshments, man. Fuck.
How much would Hulu cost?
I don't know what Hulu subscription costs here. Let me look. I think on average probably like $12 because I know
for $12 you would have been able to see. But again,
my Amazon membership is I think $14.
Oh, there you go.
My Netflix is $7. Let me see how much Hulu costs.
Netflix is cheaper than Amazon? How is that?
Well, I'm a long time fucking member of Netflix. That's why I got it so low.
Oh, okay. No, because it's also low here, but I don't think it's the lowest. I have HBO Go here, which is cheaper than Netflix. Netflix is like $500 a month or some shit like that for 5 members, and $150 for HBO Go.
So Hulu here is $7 a month. Although they different have different plans. Sorry.
$7.
Between like $6, $7. They have different plans.
Okay, got that. Oh, I wanted to bring this up also. I don't know if you've ever watched the Predator fan made fucking movies on YouTube.
I might have.
Check that out. That's actually what inspired this. If you watch those,
I'll watch them. I'll watch them.
You have to, again, take into consideration it's fucking fan made, okay? But the stories are like, there was this one where it was medieval, and the knights were like fighting in the Crusades, and they were thinking it's the demon or some shit like that. It's fucking dope too. The concept is dope.
Okay.
So if you budget that shit, you come up with something like Prey. But
No, listen. That's exactly what I'm doing with the movie right now. We're developing it. I saw this short film back in 2015. It was entered into the same film festival that we submitted for Nilalang in New York.
uh-huh.
And I watched the short film and I said, damn, this movie's great. Production value looked great. It was scary,
What's
great
it called?
action.
What's it called?
And uh, it just came to light that, my stunt buddy, and he's also an FMA guy,
Mhm.
was one of the leads. He was actually the hero of the fucking movie.
What's it called?
So I asked him, I said, whatever happened with that? Did was it ever made or written to be a feature? And he's like, nah, it's just a thing. And we tried to do it, blah, 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 blah. I said, talk to your director. I'd like to take this on and talk to my money people and see if we can't make this into a feature. It's a dope movie based on a fucking short film.
What's it
Let's
called?
make
What's
it
the
a
short
feature.
film called?
It's called Boniato.
Spell that.
Boniato. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
I'll send you the link. It's bro, it's a fucking well-made movie.
How long is it?
For very little, I forget. Not that long.
15 minutes?
But maybe.
Uh-huh.
Maybe. Yeah. Good movie, bro. Watch it. It's kind of free.
I'm always going to watch anything good, man. Or anything at all. Just something that's, as long as it's good, it's got to be good.
It's good. It's good.
But
Trust me.
2015.
Trust me,
I
it's
do, motherfucker.
If I want to turn it into a feature movie, that means it must be something that I'm really
Is
interested
it action? It's not action, or is it action?
in. It's action horror, bro.
There you go. That's the vein, man. That's the vein.
Yep.
I threw in sci-fi, but that's me. But check that out, man. Check out the Predator movie. I mean, I'll look for the specific ones, and I'll send it to you when I find it.
Is
But
Predator fan made?
Fan made. There are a lot of them.
Okay.
But again, you have to remember it's fan made, but it's well made.
Sure. No. Listen, my buddy does all the superhero versus superhero ones.
Yeah, Bad in the Sun, right? Those are your boys.
So yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It's on that level.
And then there
They've
was that
done a Predator
one
too.
company that did the One Punch Man. Did you see that one?
The cartoon,
Fan made One Punch live action.
No.
Did you see it? I think I showed it to you. I'm gonna send you the link, bro. It's dope. So
You haven't shown me that.
it's really fucking good, bro. I'll
Really?
send the link to you on that. Yeah.
Cool. Let's close out Prey, bro. Give it a rating. What do you?
Right on.
Who's never happy? What? Who's never happy with movies? Give it up, bro. Again, You've always been like, eh. You've never said anything was kick-ass. So on a scale of 1 to 10, give Prey a rating.
I'll give it an 8.
That's
8.
very high on your fucking radar. I'm
Yeah, there was just some scenes that didn't sit with me where I just that's a wire trick,
You gotta let. I mean, if I were to complain about one thing, the CGI of the bear was a bit.
Yeah. But you know what? That's what I said on one of my comments. I said I can forgive the movie.
I can forgive that too. I can forgive it too. But just a little. If I were to nitpick, because I loved it, I'm giving it.
If I took it out of the context of seeing that this bear didn't look as realistic as possible, I looked at the context of that scene. Motherfucking alien just fights any motherfucker, and this bear was fucking him up for a second. You know what I mean?
You fucked him up. For a moment you thought he was down, right? And then he gets up. You're like, whoa, that was fucking cool, man.
Did you ever see that? Did you ever see the movie Lake Placid?
No, I don't think I have. I know I've heard of it, but
go online and find out. It's about a giant fucking alligator crocodile. It's like 20 fucking feet long or 30 feet long. There's a moment in that movie where the scientist guy and I guess his assistant are like fucking walking, and all of a sudden they're attacked by a bear, and like the bear's about to rush them, and he's right by the fucking water.
Uh-huh.
And just as he bear comes forward, the fucking alligator or crocodile comes right out of the water and just fucking grabs the bear, and drags him back in. I was like, oh, I was like, didn't expect that shit to happen.
Lake Placid. I'm gonna check this
Yeah.
out. 1999. Wow.
It's a fun movie to watch, bro.
Yeah,
Lake
I
Placid
will,
is a
bro.
fun
You
movie.
know me. It's got shit on fucking IMDb. It's like no, but 79% like this movie. Google anyway. I'll
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah.
Man, they missed out on this one, bro. They should have. I would have watched this in the fucking cinema, maybe even twice.
I
Right?
would have. I'm sure that they have their reasons for doing that. But for me, if I think about what I often think about is with certain people in these positions to greenlight a movie, I think they're out of touch with what the viewing audience wants to see. They're trying to dictate what they should see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
But
Fuck yeah.
what movie is it that I'm thinking about that they're gonna write off because it flopped? It was pretty recent too. Um, I forget what it was, but it was a big budget. They know they're gonna lose money on it, so fuck it. We could just write it off as a
Oh,
tax
it's this
break.
Batgirl. Is that
There you go.
Batgirl?
Yeah.
Nah, but I don't want to see it either. Well, yeah, but Michael Keaton's in it. That's the only reason why I'm watching it. But I don't know. I don't get why they have to fucking. This is my issue personally. Race swap that shit. Put a fucking ginger. Barbara Gordon is a ginger. She's no Latina. You know what I mean? With this one, she's race swapped for a Latina. And Jim Gordon, in the universe where Jim Gordon is fucking J.K. Simmons. Come on, man. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, when they do those kind of racial switches or cast a particular character, that means that they have it in their mind to try to reach a certain target audience.
Exactly. Which again,
right?
You're already removing a lot of the story, and you're just putting in marketing shit, which you think.
Well, that's what we're our politically correct world, where we got to make everybody inclusive, and
exactly.
I'm like, okay, maybe back in the day when most writers, comic book writers, were white, and most of your readers were white, then it's understandable what the storylines may have been, but to be more inclusive of something that involves other characters, then the writing has to be smarter. Not just placing a person of color into what would be a white character role, exactly, or a superhero that looks white. I'll tell you the funniest shit. So I went to Comic-Con with my buddy, right? Shit Comic-Con, in my opinion.
What? SDCC? That's why you were there, right?
Yeah, they're just coming back, COVID, blah, blah, blah.
I watched all the panels. I wished I was there. So was it shit Comic-Con?
For me, it was boring as hell. Anyway, after, I think it was our second night or whatever, we caught an Uber to go back to our hotel. And our driver was talking about it, foreign guy, and he started fucking bagging on superheroes. He's like, I don't understand. That's the funny shit.
He's bringing you to Comic-Con too, so he knows where you came from, right?
No, we were leaving.
You were leaving.
I think he was picking us up at a restaurant and driving us home. He goes, "What were you guys down here for?" We said we were here for Comic-Con. So he goes, "I have some funny things that made me think about it. I used to be at the comic, but then instead he goes, no, listen, I'm a foreign. He's a foreigner. I think he's probably Middle Eastern or Persian or something like that." Yep. He goes, "Why is it that aliens have blonde hair and blue eyes? How come they speak? How come they all, when they come to Earth, they all speak English. Perfect American English?"
I thought about that.
And he goes, so he's just pulling out these gems, and we're fucking cracking up. And he goes, "Do you know why Superman has to wear the S on his shirt?" And we're like, "Oh, why?" He goes, "Because he has to explain. It stands for straight. I don't have to wear these red panties." We were like, "Yo, this guy should be fucking doing a stand-up routine on this shit." He hit everything. Why fucking aliens speak great English, blonde hair, blue eyes, coming from space. Fucking right, this guy. So he knew, right? No, but you think about it, he was right. It's about white guys who were white writing about white superheroes.
Yes, but these are already built in. Again, the debate comes in of with create new characters, and I'm gonna bring in. I'm gonna be holding prey. I'm gonna be putting that on the table. Bang. That's a well written fucking character who's not white, who's female, but well done. You know what I mean? It could be done like that.
Yes,
But you don't take
yes,
that
again.
girl who's been white all her fucking comic book life and then make her Latina. It's a bit jarring. So, isn't it?
I don't know. Look at Celine Kyle, right?
That didn't work for me either. Did you like the new Batman movie? Never got to ask you that.
It was okay.
Right? It
I
was
could
okay.
watch it again.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst one,
It wasn't the worst one. It was good.
you
It's
know.
not better than the Bale ones, but it's
No,
good. But it's
no,
good.
but I like Pattinson as
Yeah.
Batman. I still think that it should be Affleck. Affleck's
Same
got
here. Same here.
all the
That's
right stats to play Bruce
fuck
Wayne for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, when someone says, "Oh, Michael Keaton was badass," I go, "Michael Keaton looks like a fucking wimp.
Ali and
How am I
fucking
going to
Willie, they're
believe
like,
that he's going to be a badass dude?"
that's
No,
Mr. Mom.
don't
That's
believe
Mr.
it.
Mom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't believe it, bro.
I'm
I
taller
don't
than
believe
fucking Michael Keaton, man. I can kick his ass. I don't believe that. But Pattinson's
Oh
like
boy,
six
we can get a
one.
lot of shit on this video.
Nah, bro. That's why we're here, motherfucker. We voice what's real and our opinions. That's what people come here for.
They're just opinions. All y'all gonna be watching
Yeah.
this. They're just opinions, man. Chill out, dude.
Trust me,
Don't get
Sunny's
overly
worse
sensitive,
when
my
we're not
Pinoy
online.
people. Yeah, let me reiterate to my Pinoy people that are gonna be watching this episode. Don't be oversensitive about this shit. We just
Yeah.
talking. That's all we're doing,
This
dude.
is a guy who dishes it and fucking takes it worse, right? That's what I think about you. You and I would people hear us, but they would think we're fighting, but we're just communicating. It's just the way we're just kind of
Dude.
rough. We're just rough on
Yep.
each other.
That's it. That's it.
I remember when I was shitting on some of your shots on Buy Bust, our voices were raised, and I was telling when you were telling me that's your opinion, bro. It's okay, and people like, are you fighting with someone? No, no. I'm just talking about boy Sunny. You sound like you guys are fighting. No, this is how we talk. We're just rough on each other, but we're calling
Right?
it spade a spade. It's all gravy. That's as they say. It's all sugar. It's all sugar.
Yup.
Yep. So I'm gonna give that a 9, bro. Any other thoughts before we close this joint?
I know that they from what I hear they have more down the line, so they're gonna explore that more as well as they should. You know, just that the fact that they've been able to turn it into the franchise it has, that's the kind of fucking creature you want to create. You know what I mean?
Yes, I told you my favorite alien, bro. That's my favorite alien. I'm saying it
Uh,
now. I can't think of a better one. Can you think of a better one? Like a cinematic alien villain. You know what I mean? Or
no.
right? It's the best because let's just face it. The alien is not that smart. You know the Geiger alien. That's not a smart creature. It's scary.
It's very instinctual, right?
It's what?
More animalistic in that sense, where
Yeah.
predator is a thinking kind of
Smarter
creature.
than you. That shit is smarter than
Yeah,
you. You gotta
yeah.
outsmart that motherfucker. Oh,
Yep.
also, a last point on the Easter eggs. Remember that gun? Do you remember where that's from? The gun that she
Yeah,
has.
yeah, 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 yeah. That was from Predators too.
There you go. So the next sequel should be. If I were to make this, I'd be like I'd make it a trilogy. The second one is still about her. In the third one, she dies, and then that fucking gun go back. It has to go back to the Predators. Remember?
Right, right. That's
Because
true.
right? It has to go back because it was the elder Predator who fucking threw it to Danny Glover in the
Handed it
end.
to him too. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
never forget the
That's
name
true.
too. It's Raphael. I'm like, hey, that's my
Right,
gun. That's my gun.
right.
It's Raphael.
There you
Spelled
go.
with a PH too. So I'm like, hey, that's the gun. Right? So they got room to
Yep.
make fucking more awesome shit. Which I'm looking forward to, man.
That made me think. Right? Why would they focus so much on the name of the gun? And I went, oh shit, that's the fucking gun from.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Yep,
what it
yep,
made sense. That's fucking gun from the Danny Glover movies.
yep. And you know what? Here, a lot of people shit on the Danny Glover movie. I
It's
thought it was
good.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. I liked it too. Because it wasn't at that time. It was also the height of. I've thought about this. It was the height of Arnie. You know what I mean?
True, true, true.
Everyone wanted.
So
Why
we
is
had
it?
to
If
we
it's
had
not.
to bring it back to we had to bring it back to your normal everyday kind of person that has
Yes.
to struggle against something.
Who's
Well,
black
Arnie
at
was
the
like
time too?
invincible motherfucker, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Who's just a cop from an army buff dude to a cop? What?
Right,
But it was good.
right.
I've watched it again. I watch the Predator movies periodically, and I enjoy a lot. Most of, I would say, all of them. I get a certain level of enjoyment, whether it's looking at their costumes or their new, weapons and shit. I enjoy
Mm,
it. So I'm up for
right,
that. I'm up for that. well,
right.
we'll close this. We can stay online, but I'll close the show because we're already pushing two
All right,
hours.
bro.
Thank you so much, Sonny, for coming on, man.
All right, man. Anytime, man.
Sad to have we didn't get you on the Thor one, but at the same time, I know you would have shit on like how it would, how it would have been another fight between us for sure. In a nutshell, motherfucker. Okay, I'll let you air that shit out a little bit. In a nutshell, Thor.
uh,
In a
they
nutshell,
he went out. Tycho made Thor too stupid. Made him dumb.
uh huh,
Thor is not a comical character in that respect.
uh huh.
He can get away with a couple lines here and there, but to make him seem that unintelligent and then to pot shot all this kind of stuff, Zeus was a fucking clown, you
I
know.
like that though. I like that part of it.
But I know what the setup was. Once I saw Zeus, like, oh, the follow up's Hercules. I was like, yup, I was right.
I didn't see that coming. Here I go.
You
Again.
didn't see it coming?
No, I did not see that coming. I didn't see
Dude,
that.
I knew it. I knew it.
I know Hercules is a thing, but I didn't think they would do it from the, you know what I mean, from Zeus to. I should have seen it coming, but you know me. When I'm watching a movie, I'm usually I'm easily like fucking.
I saw it coming, man. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? So if you go back to uh, the Avengers series,
Uh-huh.
and Thor stood up to a fucking sun and didn't burn up,
Yeah.
right? Why is it that he gets his ass kicked so much by less fucking powerful beings?
He didn't get his ass kicked by. No, not physically by him. Remember that dark scene where in like the nighttime scene where I think that was London or whatever the fuck they were.
But if you think about what he could have done in terms of being able to stand up to the power of a freaking star, and he can't handle fucking these little whippy ass motherfuckers. Come on, man.
That's true.
They aren't tapping into the Thor that I love.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they've had to change it up so many times in the comic book world because they realize that Thor is a very beloved character, where Hulk was supposed to be the strongest, and how many times he in the comic books did Thor and Hulk fight, and Thor always lost,
Yeah.
or at least they try to give it a reason why he lost or how come it came out even. But Thor's supposed to be so fucking badass. Come on, man. They make him out to be a wimp. Too much of a wimp.
He wasn't a wimp in this one. I would contend that he wasn't a wimp in this one. We're gonna go. This is gonna last another hour, but just really quick. In my head, why I appreciated Thor was this is a guy who's experienced so much loss in his life. You know, he's lost his dad, he's lost his mom. Loki, you know, the movie points it out how many times. This is a guy who would turn to humor. You know what I mean? Naturally, would have to turn to humor for his sanity, and half the time you're fucking absent because you're depressed and you're fucking, you know what I mean? You're dealing with it, and at the same time you're trying to pretend you're normal. So there is a little bit of ignorance or I look like I'm stupid moments because you're not really there. That's what I got with Thor. You know what I mean? Because this guy is going through
Okay.
loss. So
I can respect your perspective on that because I didn't think that out. All I'm just seeing is how he's presenting it to me as he is and how it fits in the story. So
He did. They even go through.
I
He,
didn't.
he lost his dad. He lost his mom, and then that guy, and then that. You remember the scene? And then that guy, whoever that guy. And he just put it in joke. That's what I love
Yeah,
about Taika.
but the whole coverage of that was just to they were just like you said, they were just talking points to fit it into the story of where he's at now, right?
Mm.
So those quick cut kind of things are again shoving it down our throat where it's like, oh, this is what happened, now this is where we are. If you want to expand more on the story and get into the psyche of why Thor is the way he is, like what you just described,
Mm-hmm.
that's a different story altogether, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you've made Thor a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
What's the follow up to that? Does he have to be that way now the whole fucking time? You know? So I don't. I like what he did with Ragnarok. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then he just made
Too
Ragnarok
much.
times 100 for
I
loving.
get it. I get it.
What?
Too much. It
Yeah,
was too much for you.
too much for me. Yeah.
By the way, we gotta close this motherfucker. Thank you so much for
All
coming.
right.
What time is it? You going to bed now? Well, I'll close it out.
No,
Thank you so
go
much.
upstairs and have a Yossi.
Well, let's have one. Let's have one Yossi before we say goodbye. But I'll close the show. Good. Thank you so much for watching, motherfuckers. Like, subscribe. Adios. Watch, pray. Watch, pray.